So what we have here is, now that I got to witness it, not that I didn't believe you two, but on this day, April 23rd, I and Hollis witnessed here, first Cindy, then Nick, call up the FBI because of local corruption, state corruption, at a magistrate level, at a sheriff level, at a police level, at the attorney general level, who just blew you off. You've exhausted all resources you could possibly exhaust.
Adult Protective Services.
So all the agencies, you've gone every route. What you have evidence of, we'll say allegedly for the sake of the video, but I've seen the evidence and I already know what we have here. You have federal officers involved, you have state involved, county, local, and everything in between. So first, you contacted the FBI yesterday.
Yeah. They
basically told you it's a civil matter and hung up on you.
And then I need to find an attorney.
The attorneys that are part of this whole money scheme.
Right.
So then today you called the FBI again. You said you were in fear for your life. Your life is in danger. She literally overspoke over you, talked over you,
yep,
and then hung up on you.
And told me to call the people that I told her were keeping me hostage.
Didn't even ask the question about what it was that was going on. Didn't even inquire when you said you were in fear for your life. Yep. Nothing. Spoke over you and hung up. And then Nick called up the FBI. Both of you remained very calm, professional. You started to explain the situation, and the agent, we didn't get their names or badge numbers, unfortunately, but that's okay because Maine's a one-party consent state, so you could fend that for yourselves and figure it out. He literally spoke really quick and hung up on you. Mm-hmm. And didn't even allow you to get into it when you said you have no other resources, what you're looking for help. Right. And he hung up on you. Yep. Telling you again to get a lawyer and go to the same people who have done this to you, documentedly have done this to you time and time and time again. So this is a situation where Director Patel and Assistant Director Bongino, this is something that neither one of you would let stand, but this is how your agents are acting to people who are literally have said the words, are in fear for their lives, and telling you to go to local law enforcement who have been a part and a privy to this abuse and this targeting, allegedly, for the last, 7 years now?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So the question we have to ask as somebody who is in law enforcement and all the people that I know, and for those of you watching this, and you could be quick to make comments or judge, but what other resource, what else do you do when the local PD has failed you, when judges have failed you, when sheriffs have failed you, when state police have failed you, when agencies have failed you, when the attorney general of the state has failed you? What other resource do you have? You have to go above them all. So you go to the FBI, the chief law enforcement agency in the country, and you're hung up on 3 times, telling you to go back to the ones who are targeting you. What other recourse do you have? So let this be known for the world that that is not the way you act. One, with Cindy, when she said she was in fear for her life, there should have been de-escalation conversation, should have offered her resources, offer her victim resources, offer her somebody else to speak to.
An emergency line in case I'm at the end of my rope.
Didn't ask about your mental stability, nothing like that. Not to cast judgment, but even if you're going to try to blow her off, you're supposed to offer additional resources because, God forbid, what if something happened to her today?
That's supposed to be the priority always.
Yes. What if something happened to Nick today? Then it's now documented and recorded that she said that they're in fear for their lives to the FBI and nothing was done. So God forbid, what if something happened? Or even, what if she took her own life?
Which, has gotten to the point where I could see how what these people are doing is attempted murder as far as I'm concerned, because anybody in their right mind that can put up with the abuse that these people have put us through, it's a lot to take in.
But it shows how strong you are that in spite of this, you keep pushing forward, because now the only other route we have with any of this, one is the Attorney General, and we need to get it to the Attorney General. We need to get it to Director Patel and Assistant Director Bongino, because none of you would allow this to happen, but this is how the subordinates are acting. And I'm not pointing the finger or blaming any of them yet, but this is the agency. The agency is failing the citizens of this country, taxpayers, failing people who said their lives are in danger, So now we have to do a public campaign. This is not an indictment of the Trump administration or any administration.
It's just the reality of what we're dealing with.
Yes, and we know that the people that are put up top aren't the ones answering the phones. But at the same time, they have a responsibility, regardless of your political party or anything that you believe. When somebody says their life is in danger, I learned in police academy, if somebody says those words, you stay on there, de-escalate them so you can bring somebody else in to get them to somebody that can help them. Whether it be a crisis counselor, victim resource center, whatever it may be. You don't ever hang up on somebody. Not like that. Very unprofessional. That's an indictment on those agents who did that. An indictment on the body as a whole for letting down the people of this country who said their lives are in danger. This is bigger than politics now. These are human beings that their quality of life has been affected and they are in fear for their lives. Now we go public because there's no other recourse. There's no other thing that we can do. And at the end, if you determine you meet with them and then you determine we can't help you, that's on you.
Yeah.
But at least show them the courtesy of taking them seriously when they say their lives are in danger.
And I've done it. I'm a public servant. I'm a licensed social worker, state of Maine licensed. When I signed that paper that day after I got approved because I passed the state exam, I took an oath to the people of Maine. And in every report that I have submitted, every single one of them I had said that I'm sticking to my oath. But none of them have had my back. Not a single one of them have had my back. When I tried to take my oath as a mandated reporter, whether it's my mother's abuse of reporting or whoever's, I was still standing my oath. And I'm still standing my oath to the people of Maine. Because abuse is not okay in any way. It's never civil to be abused to this level.
And it's really low when you're hung up on by the highest law enforcement agency in the land. To not be taken seriously. Now that we witnessed it firsthand, not that I didn't believe them, we saw it happen 2 times.
Right.
That's a disgusting indictment on unprofessionalism. This isn't partisan. These are human beings. Politics doesn't matter. They deserve better than what they've received.
Everything. They've taken everything from me. My parents, my oldest son, 3 homes.
We tried calling the FBI
yesterday,
and it was quite a
interesting and unexpected, I guess, response is what I got. I just didn't really expect to get the same thing that I was getting from my local law enforcement from the FBI, because I really felt like what I had to say was important enough for them to be paying attention a lot. Like, I had a lot to say, but they didn't really care to hear about it.
So we thought we'd do a little video so the American people can see what they're getting when they call the
people that they're paying to, protect us. I'm calling them because I was basically told by the lady at the other end that everything that I had to say was civil, even if I told her about police corruption and court corruption and just a lot of people that are working together to sabotage our lives and hurting innocent people. And she told me it was all civil. I don't know how any of that can be civil. So yes, we're just doing it because
we've had a group of bad people trying to steal our property, our life, and everything else that we've ever worked for, and we are going to show the world what we're up against.
Because it's not fair what they're doing. They're basically strong-arming innocent people, and we have no other choice but to. I really don't know what they expect from us at this point, because they've taken everything we've ever worked for, to the point where really they've got our control of our entire life. And we still can't get help, even from the FBI. So I'm pretty much at the end of my rope.
We'll let you guys see it.
But
basically,
yeah.
let us show you.
Thank you for calling the FBI. What are you calling to report to the FBI today?
Well, I called in and reported yesterday a crime that was being committed against my family. It entails a group of organized crime in our area, quite a large group that has targeted us over the course of the last 7-8 years. And I kind of wanted to see where we were at with what I reported already, because we're currently in the process of being evicted by one of the people that is, part of this organized crime group, and we really need something to be done because he tried to actually frame us a couple weeks ago, and we don't want that to happen, and that's exactly what they're trying to do, is just flush us out of our home to be able to do that again.
I'm unable to speak on any investigative action that the FBI takes, so this is an intake line for the FBI, but what I can do for you today is I can definitely document that you would like an update. I just cannot guarantee a call back.
Okay, well, we are scared for our lives. We're scared for our lives, so I'm not sure where we're supposed to, because these people are basically holding us hostage in our own home. And, you know, they've already tried to...
How are they holding you hostage?
Well, because they're our local law enforcement, which is what I told the lady yesterday. It's our police force, it's our state police, it's our sheriffs, it's been our court system. And we're not getting anywhere, and yeah, our lives are in danger.
How is your sheriff holding you hostage?
They're committing crimes against our family. They're the ones doing it to us.
So, ma'am, this is a local issue. I will get your information documented today. I'm not sure the referral that they gave you previously, but you can report police figured to the state attorney general.
We already did that.
Internal affairs if you believe there's police misconduct.
There's a lot of police misconduct on them, and I have a lot of evidence of it. She hung up on me. She didn't help us
She
at
hung
all.
up on you.
She hung up yesterday,
And
too.
yesterday she did too.
I mean, she just told them that local authority, the police, are the ones doing this, and click.
You need to call your local police. And she clicked.
Thank you for calling the FBI. May I please have your name?
My name is Nicholas Fournier.
Okay. Well, what can I do for you today?
Well, we've been victims of a very large crime since 2018. What it comes down to is there's a piece of land that we were left to entrust that the guy who wrote the trust is entangled in a very large scheme in stealing this property. A lot of the local authorities and I believe senators and such are involved in this crime as well. We've contacted about every law enforcement agency up here, and nobody honestly cares. We've contacted the Attorney General, even a judge telling their clerks to get rid of evidence, and the Attorney General's response to us was, he was only one man. So we have no more outlets here for help to try to get this crime taken care of, and we're helpless. We've been kicked out of 3 homes. It takes me a month to tell you everything they've done and the evidence we have to prove it. And we've tried contacting even you guys. This is the 3rd time in 2 days, and the last 2 times my wife got hung up on. So we're not too sure where to go from here or what to do to get somebody to pay attention to what's taking place here. But our lives are at risk. My in-laws' lives are at risk. Our property is looking like it's been stolen already. And we need some help.
Well, sir, I will start by saying if you ever feel that you're in sort of immediate danger, your local law enforcement are your first responders and can always be the quickest. But in general, when it comes to any thing like land and a trust, I would suggest to work with an attorney. If you have documented this with us, you've done what you need to do, and if anybody had more questions, they would contact you. You have a good.
This is what's
You
so
shut that
bad.
down quick, huh?
Yeah, he spoke real quick and hung up on you.
Yeah.
So much proven in just those 2 calls.
Where do you go from there?